campaign. Briefly, we just sum up the present scenario in this way, that the IMF EU came to this country with their programme of savage austerity, not in the interests of the Irish people or the Irish economy, but to rescue major European banks from the billions in bad gambling, speculative debts that they incurred as a result of recklessly going into the Irish property market with Irish bankers and developers. The Irish people, working people, pensioners, our poor people have no responsibility for that. It should not happen. It is immoral and unjust. When I've confronted the President of the Commission, Mr. Barroso, with that contention, he had no answer. Neither do any of the parties. The key point is we have two parties now, Fine Gael and Labour, masquerading as an opposition to Fianna Fáil, but committed to the same parameters in reality as the outgoing government, which means that a new government would continue the policy of austerity, of cutback, and again continue the immoral and unjust regime. But not only that, will contribute to a worsening of the economic crisis. If they take these billions in the pockets of ordinary people, it's more unemployment and more immigration for our youth, because the only way we say that we can resolve this crisis of debt and of everything else, of cutbacks, is by regenerating and remaking our economy, and that has to be done on an entirely different basis. This is a failure of market capitalism. Capital is on strike, with falling investment over the last few years, simply because they cannot be guaranteed enough corporate and private profit. Therefore, public investment is the key, in our view, to this scenario. Now, our manifesto and our approach to this election would be very, very different to the other parties who come in with rafts of facts and figures about how they will manage the cuts. We do not do that because we say, on the basis of the present crisis-ridden economy, you cannot manage it. And anybody that goes into government and continues the same structures will finish up making the same cuts. Therefore, we stand in this election for an entirely different alternative on an entirely different base of a left programme, a democratic and socialist analysis and alternative to this failure of capitalism. And we are receiving a very, very strong response. We are convinced that the Socialist Party, joining with other groups to form the United Left Alliance, standing in almost half the constituencies, the idea that people need a strong opposition and alternative in the next stall to what will be, according to the polls at the moment, a big majority for Fine Gael and Labour, supported from the outside by Fianna Fáil. You could have a crushing majority for these savage policies that are not supported by the Irish people. It is critical that we have a cohort of principal left TDs who will be in there exposing and fighting and opposing and then assisting communities, the ranks of the unions, etc., organised from the outside to bring people power, worker power into play to stop this madness. And we expect, therefore, a strong response and a good result in 2 weeks from tomorrow.